So I wanted to come on here again and talk about this whole Robert Mugabe being forcefully kicked out of being the president. President of Zimbabwe. And now the new president of Zimbabwe is called Emerson Mnangagwa. I think that's how you pronounce it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but basically what's happened is Robert Mugabe came to power as the president of Zimbabwe in 1980, I believe. So when he was kicked out of Zimbabwe, he's still in Zimbabwe, but when he was kicked out of the presidency of Zimbabwe last month, he had been in power for 37 years now. From what I've read, a president in Zimbabwe or any African country hasn't been in power that long compared to how he was. Now, 37 years is a long time, and when he came into power, he had this idea that he would take back the land that was stolen from black people, take it back from white people, and give it rightfully back to, Okay, so he had this plan. He had this plan to take back the land from white people because, they didn't rightfully earn it. That was earned through colonization. They basically came to countries in Africa and they basically claimed the land as theirs. And anyone who disagreed with it, they just get killed or they get forced into slavery. And that's basically what happened. So Robert Mugabe was like, when he became president in 1980, he was like, I'm not having any of this. This is essentially it. I'm not having any of this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take back what is owned and give it back to the people who actually deserve it. The black farmers who are there now, that is their land, basically. Now, this new president who came into power last month, because what happened was the military in Zimbabwe said they put Robert Mugabe under house arrest, him and his wife under house arrest, and basically said, either step down or we're going to forcibly impeach you. So you will step down regardless. And he wasn't having none of it. I think it was like a week or two. And then Robert eventually stepped down of his own accord because he didn't want there to be no ruckus or whatever. Now this new president called Emerson Mnangagwa basically has said one of the things he's going to do is give white people back their farmland. So you mean to tell me that Robert Mugabe gets kicked out of the presidency of Zimbabwe, and this new president comes in and says the first thing he's going to do is give white people back their land, aka reparations? Let's talk now. Let's talk candidly now, because as far as I'm concerned, let's talk about a certain ex-Prime Minister of England, David Cameron, who said to Jamaica, you're not getting no reparations because slavery needs to be forgotten about. What's happening in the media lately? What's happening in Libya? What's happening right here in the UK with girls from certain countries in Africa who are being sexually trafficked over this country, or girls in this country or women in this country who are being forcibly kept as slaves in white people's houses, but we don't hear about it. They get tricked into coming over to the UK. And forcibly be made to be the slaves of white people. Yes, right here in the UK. I'm not talking about shit that happened years ago. I'm talking about shit that's happening right now in 2017 and will continue to happen in 2 weeks' time when we reach 2018, yeah? So, yeah, let's talk about that, shall we? They get their passports taken off them so they can't go back home. But yet they're either being sexually trafficked or they're being made to work as slaves. Now, when I say working, I mean basically brutalized, literally brutalized. And this is happening, and this is why we need to be very careful what we talk about, because we're talking about Libya, and Libya, what's happening in Libya is absolutely disgusting. But let's not forget, some of this shit is happening on our own doorsteps, and we have no idea about it because it's not in the press. They wouldn't put this kind of stuff in the press. Trust me, they know what's going on. Trust me, these white people know exactly what's going on, but they don't give a rat's ass about it. They don't give a rat's ass about it. As far as they're concerned, anyway, fuck all the rest of them black people who are here in the UK who are slaves anyway. They probably think it's our bloody faults. But anyway, I'm getting a bit off track. But let me go back. So, you mean to tell me that a certain ex-prime minister said we're not allowed to have reparations because slavery is over with, even though we know the facts that slavery never actually ended? It just became made what? Illegal. Yeah, so basically... So what's happening now is Emmanuel, the new president of Zimbabwe, wants to give white people back their land, give them back their land which they did not earn. Basically, there was no white people in Zimbabwe through the whole of Robert Mugabe's presidency. Now, whether you like or agree with President Mugabe's methods of power is not the case. It's not the issue here. The issue is black people are willing to give white people shit they do not deserve. And this happens over and over and over and over again. But yet white people will not show us the same consideration. They will not show us the same consideration, but yet you want to give them things that they're not giving to you. Now, Emmanuel has basically promised them land, promised to give them the land back. But then it's making me think, oh, so if you give them the land back, where are the black farmers going to go? Where are they going to go? So you're basically going to kick them out of their rightfully owned lands, but give it back to white people who only got it through colonization, who only got it from the butchering of black people. So you mean to tell me you as a black man don't give a shit about other black people? Is that what you're saying? You're supposed to be the president of Zimbabwe. Who gives a fuck what white people want? I'm sorry, but it sounds fuckery, but who gives a fuck what white people want? White people take everything, and you can't let black people have shit that they've been having for 37 years. When Robert was the president, but you got nerve to come tell white people, oh yes, we would give you what you want. Yes, sir, please, sir. 3 bags full, sir. Yeah, let's give you everything you want anyway. Fuck all them black people on their land who's gonna be practically homeless. Fuck all of them. Yeah, let's give white people back their shit. Even though white people won't give us back what we deserve. They won't give us back our land. They won't give us back money that's owed. They will not apologize for slavery. They will not ever on earth will they ever apologize for their white supremacy. They will never denounce that. I mean, especially here in the UK, white people here in the UK are absolutely terrible. Not all of you, but the majority of you will willfully ignore the fact that you are the main oppressors anyway. No, never mind what that nigger thinks anyway. As long as I'm good, that's okay. As long as I am good, that's okay. That's what white people do anyway in this country. They disgust me. They will deny they're racist until the last breath in their body. Until the oxygen decides it's going to leave their lungs, they will deny that they are racist. And yet you see them up and down Twitter attacking Diane Abbott like nobody's business, but yet they're not racist. Some of them have gollywogs, and yet they're not racist. Oh, it was just a toy, it doesn't mean anything. Fuck you. Yeah, fuck you all. About it does not mean anything. Of course it wouldn't mean anything to you. You're white. The world is in your favour. Of course, shit like that wouldn't mean anything to you because it does not hurt your feelings. Because you don't understand the pain that black people go through on a day-to-day basis. So of course it does not mean anything to you. Of course you can sit there and deny that racism exists. You're the one perpetrating the racism anyway. You live as if we're playing a game of Monopoly, and you are the ones. You live as if we're playing a game of Monopoly, and you are the ones who are changing the rules to suit you so you can continue to play that game. But black people aren't playing a damn game. This is actually our lives that you are trying to ruin for your oppression, for your white supremacy, for your dominance, for your racism, for your discrimination. How many times can we talk about it? How many times can we march down the road protesting against Libya? How many times can we have a black president in African countries who's actually tried to push black people forward, and then to have another one come in and basically erase all of those 37 years? Because let's think about it, nobody's talking about that no more. All they're talking about is Robert Mugabe's out, this new guy Emmanuel is in, and he's trying to fucking change all the things that Robert Mugabe did. Give white people back their land that they do not deserve. Even though white people are still running rampant in fucking Africa anyway, causing destruction and all of this kind of stuff anyway. But who am I to talk? Who the fuck am I? I mean, I'm just a 29-year-old black British woman talking about this stuff anyway. I mean, who am I? I don't know all the facts of the situation, but what I do know is what I can see. And from what I've read, this is just so beyond wrong. Black people don't ever get anything that they talk about. Whatever we talk about, whatever we scream for, which we actually are owed, we don't ever get it. But yes, we as black people giving white people what they want all the time, and yet they're not offering us the same comforts. We're not getting the same things. So at the end of the day, what on earth are we doing really? What on earth is the point of this President of Zimbabwe? What on earth is the point of Emmanuel? Like, what actually are you doing? All you're doing is just playing into white people's pockets anyway, because you're a damn puppet. That's what you are. You're a puppet. Yeah, you're a puppet. You really think what he's doing is out of the goodness of his heart? No, it's because white people forced him to do it. He has no fucking choice. That's exactly why Robert Mugabe was kicked out of the presidency in the first place, so they can put a new black person in there. Oh, it's basically like France Fanon's book, what's it called? Black Skin, White Mask. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is anyway. He's got the black skin, but he's wearing a fucking white mask over it anyway. We know exactly what's going on. Nobody's stupid. They wanted Robert Mugabe out in the first place because they see him as a problem. So you know what? I'm done talking about this. I meant to actually do this video 2 weeks ago when this whole situation came out, but my uni assignments took top priority. But now I'm talking about it because now it can be. So yeah, that is basically the situation. Robert Mugabe is out of the presidency of Zimbabwe. I believe he's still living in the country though. But this new guy, Emmanuel Mnangagwa, he's the new president. He wants to give white farmers back their land, even though their land doesn't belong to them. We all know that the whole continent of Africa, that land belongs to black people. So why are you giving it back to white people for, when they basically decimated it? But let me not talk about the effects of colonization and how it's destroying Africa and destroying the Caribbean. No, that's for another day. But anyway, as I said, peace and love. Peace.